Hi guys, I'm Ryan with Reading With My Eyes. I'm going to break down these books that I've read in the month of April, starting with Game by Marissa Mayer and Tamara. This is a YA mystery thriller that is a TV show, escape room, game show. The game show aspect is interesting. It's really more about the stuff in between, and I needed more escape rooms. The ending puts it together. At the end, they start acting like a team, and that is when the book gets good. It has a really great moment at the end. They are in an escape room, and there's people behind them. It really reminded me of the Goonies, where the people are behind them, and they have to enter this escape room to escape. And so they have to solve the clues while people are behind them, chasing them. And that's great. That is one of the best moments in the book for me. But a little light on the mystery. I really was never emotionally invested in the mystery, and so that was the biggest problem of it. It was okay, 3 stars for me. All right, next book is I, Medusa by Ayana Gray. This book is a look at Medusa as we've never seen her before she is turned into the woman with snakes coming out of her hair. All right, this looks at the life of Medi, as she is called by her friends, as she is trying to navigate this world of gods. She is a mere mortal that has to live in this world of gods. She ends up drawing the attention of Athena and Poseidon. It is kind of a war between them that she is in the middle of. This book is okay at about 50% in, but it gets really good when she gets turned into Medusa that we all know. That is when the book gets very good. All the themes come together. Basically, one of the themes was kind of about grooming, and I kind of saw the grooming from the start, and I'm just kind of waiting for it to happen. And it eventually does, and that leads to what Medusa becomes. Female empowerment, and it is a very vengeful book at the end. So this is just a 3 for me, but it's good at the end. The next book I read was Stephen King's Salem's Lot. This is a book that I have not read of Stephen King's. I finally read it. I was kind of intimidated by this book. I think I've had it for about 20 years in some capacity and never read it, but I finally did. And it is a classic vampire written in 1975. It could be more exciting. These are the vampires that sleep during the day and don't wake up until it is nightfall. So they are very vulnerable to people hunting them during the day. And that's where all the hunts take place. I love the town of Jerusalem's Lot, but I really didn't love the townspeople. That is very rare for me. Stephen King usually nails these small town characters that really draw me in and make me love more than one. But I was really struggling to find somebody that I did love as a character. There's a couple main characters that I did, but usually I fall in love with the townspeople so much and really care about their plight. But in this book, I just did not. The main master vampire is just kind of boring. He's in the shadows most of the time, and you really never know what his plan is. Does he want to take over the world? All that stuff. We really never get it, and it's kind of missing. And that's why, for me, this is a 3.5. Could have been better. I understand what it did for the genre, and I know that definitely The Strain and 30 Days a Night borrow very heavily from this, but I feel it could have been a little better. All right, my next book is The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clarke. This is really a book by Schwab and Clarke. It is a mystery thriller / satire. And it really hits the satire more than it does the mystery thriller. It is about a group of writers that go to an island hoping that they're going to meet this best-selling author for some reason. They're all very excited about meeting him and maybe a collaboration of some sort. But they find out that the best-selling author has died, and they are there to write the ending of his book by his publisher and agent. It starts off really good. I was hooked at the beginning of what they were trying to do, but it takes a little while for the murder mystery part to happen, and when it does, it's pretty good. But definitely at the end, it leans into the satire, and I found myself laughing when I find out what the killer in the book really writes. So some characters they, in their hearts, they write a genre, and it's all very, genre friendly of different genres. And in their hearts, they write different genres. And then you kind of feel what the killer really writes, and it's hilarious, and it's really funny. And it definitely hits into the satire of the plot more than the mystery. So it's a 4-star for me. It was pretty good, and it definitely hooked me from the beginning. And then a couple characters I felt were in charge for too long, and the main focus of the book, that kind of slow it down. The next book for me is Monsters in the Archives by Caroline Bicks. This is a book that analyzes early works of Stephen King. Stephen King gave Caroline Bicks access to his personal archives for the first time. He gave her access to drafts that nobody has seen before of his published work. He's got notes from the publisher. He's got notes from the editor. He's got notes to himself about changes. It's really good, deep analytics into Stephen King's writing. So this covers 5 early works. They are Carrie, Salem's Lot, The Shining, Night Shift, and Pet Sematary. If you're a fan of Stephen King's writing, this is a must-read for you. For me, it was a 4 stars. Caroline Bicks is a Shakespeare scholar, and I do feel that she interjects Shakespeare a little too much. I did like that Stephen King did say The Shining was based on Hamlet a little bit. That was in his mind of thinking when he was writing it. So that one connects, but every other one she's kind of reaching. It's kind of a game that I played where, okay, when is she gonna talk about Shakespeare again? But she does frequently. But really good. It is a very solid book that analyzes Stephen King's work. And so if you're a fan, this is a must read. The next book I read was Mongrels by Stephen Graham Jones. This is a coming-of-age werewolf story. This was my Monster of the Month. Theme of the book is Raised by a Pack of Wolves. And this book, it's Raised by a Pack of Werewolves. It takes a really clever look at a boy that's getting raised by his grandfather, his uncle, and his aunt. He hears these stories of being a werewolf, and he doesn't believe them. He thinks, yeah, grandfather, okay, these are you're talking about werewolves. Okay, yeah, you're a werewolf. And then he sees something where he can't believe, and then he starts believing. Then he's like, well, I want to be a werewolf. And then his aunt and uncle are werewolves. But there's something in his backstory that maybe he won't be it, and that's what the book begins to be about. Maybe he won't be a werewolf, maybe he will. It's a good, solid book. Stephen Graham Jones has a writing style all to himself. I'm not the biggest fan of that. You kind of got to guess. It's more, I feel his writing style is literature fiction, where it takes you a little bit longer to read the material, and that's where I struggled a little bit. I kind of wanted to breeze through it. But I kind of had to keep going and reading stuff over just to make sure that I did understand it. Last book is Sarafina by Philip Fracassi. I have not stopped raving about this book since I read it as an ARC. I had to have a copy myself, and I got a nice signed copy from Mysterious Galaxy Books. I had to order it. It was just... I just needed this book, and I'm definitely going to share this book with other people. That's the most important thing. So it is a historical horror that is set during the Civil War. It is really good warfare, really good horror. When the horror hits, there's definitely some gross body horror, some supernatural horror. The book is just really good. It doesn't slow down. It does slow down, but you're like thankful when it slows down because the book is so fast. But the cool thing that this book does, it's kind of like the movie Sinners. At the beginning, you kind of forget that it's a horror, and this book is so compelling to its characters that I kind of forgot it was a horror, and I'm like, oh yeah, the horror part, and then it happens, and then you're like, whoa, okay, that was intense. So it's like kind of a slow start in that aspect, but it's really focusing on the characters, and it's getting you invested in these characters. These characters are very flawed, and that's kind of fun. So the place that Sarafina runs is a place for bad men, and it is a secret hidden place that only bad men can find. And you think it's a sanctuary, but this is a place for bad men, that bad things will happen to these men. It's about 3 brothers. Really good. Cannot stop raving about this. This book is a must read for horror fans. This is my top horror book of the year, please read Sarafina by Philip Fracassi. All right, guys, I'm Ryan from Reading With My Eyes, and that is my wrap-up for the month of April. I am already looking forward to the month of May, and I'm going to start it off with a really good book already. I'm going to start off with Nat Cassidy's I Know a Place.